The global community calling for restraint from Israel after Iran launched its first direct attack on the country over the weekend. This in response to Tel Aviv's deadly airstrike on an Iranian consulate in Syria. World powers are concerned about outright conflict should there be a harsh response from Tel Aviv. The US says it does not seek escalation and will continue to support Israeli defense, but stressed it will not take part in any Israeli response towards Iran. The UK also hoping Tel Aviv will not strike back. Foreign Secretary David Cameron called Iran's attack an almost total failure and labelled the country a malign influence on the region. Meanwhile, Russia says it's extremely concerned about the escalation of tensions and urged all countries to exercise restraint. China's representative to the United Nations also calling for calm.
我们也注意到，伊朗方面表示，有关军事行动系对以色列袭击伊朗驻叙利亚外交馆舍的回应。有关问题至此可视为已解决。中方呼吁有关方面最大程度保持冷静和克制，根据联合国宪章宗旨和国际法解决分歧和争端，避免紧张局势进一步升级。
Iran launched more than 300 missiles and drones at Israel, but most were shot down by air defense systems and fighter jets. Tehran's foreign minister has hit back at accusations that the country stoked regional conflict, telling Western nations to blame themselves for not taking enough action against Israel's war crimes in Gaza. And we're monitoring these Middle East tensions across regions. In the US, we have Nick Harper with the latest from Washington, D.C. And in Israel, Alex Cadier will give us updates from Tel Aviv. But first, let's head over to Nick in Washington, D.C. Because, Nick, Washington, Israel's key backer. And with that backing, it translates often to Israel being more receptive to counsel from Washington. Could that help US plans to prevent a wider conflict in the Middle East?
Well, from the US calculation, that is certainly part of their hope and desire. Now, they're saying that, of course, it's up to Israel to decide how it responds to these attacks, but at the same time is saying that it's up to all countries to try and push restraint. And that's why we've seen this major push by other countries, including that G7 meeting on Sunday, really try and urge restraint, urge de-escalation, and urge that there is no retaliation. We had that phone call between the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Joe Biden here in the US during the course of the weekend. We're told during that call, Biden said that the US would not be involved in any retaliatory strikes. And during the course of the weekend, we heard from various senior administration officials. I was on a briefing call yesterday where there were members of the White House, members of the Pentagon, all of them saying that it's about de-escalation now. They said they're not looking for a wider regional conflict. They're saying that Israel came out far ahead and therefore suggesting they should take it as a win, and also saying Israel should think carefully about what it does next. But there is this interesting question about whether or not there was a warning from Iran. Various countries in the region, including Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, all saying that they had a 72-hour warning that Iran was planning that aerial bombardment. The US, on that briefing call yesterday, categorically denied that, saying there was absolutely no warning. We may get more details later on in the day. President Biden here in Washington in a few hours' time is due to meet with the Iraqi Prime Minister. That's not as a result of what happened this weekend. It's a pre-scheduled meeting between the two of them. But perhaps more details on that. And we're also likely to hear comments during the course of the day from more White House officials, again urging restraint and urging that Israel does not retaliate.
Thanks for that, Nick. Let's bring in Alex Cadier live from Tel Aviv. Alex, we just heard Nick there. General consensus, officials in the White House urging restraint, no retaliation from Israel. But the Israeli War Cabinet has reconvened to debate how it wants to respond to the weekend strikes. Can we expect the cabinet to reach any agreement this time when they failed to reach any kind of consensus on Sunday night?
Well, we understand just in the last few minutes reporting from CNN that the War Cabinet is considering a strike on a key installation in Iran that would result in no casualties. So some kind of military retaliation from Israel, but not one that has any casualties, and effectively one that just targets a key installation. Not sure what that installation would be. We don't have more details at the moment. That would be slightly more of a response than perhaps those in the United States would like to see. We know that Israel's allies are pushing very hard for a diplomatic response, the kind of coalition, regional coalition we've heard discussions about from Benny Gantz, a member of that war cabinet, saying that they want to build a coalition with places like Jordan and Saudi Arabia, who are no friends of Iran, to further isolate and punish the regime in Tehran. That has been one of the interests. We've heard the Israeli ambassador to the UN calling for the world to do more to put pressure on Iran and to punish them for that enormous salvo of missiles and drones targeting Israel. Now, we know that meeting is ongoing. We'll have to wait and see exactly what they decide. But the latest we have is that beyond that coalition building against Iran, beyond that restraint, there may be a targeted strike against key Iranian infrastructure, but one that would not have any casualties. Then the question is, how will Tehran respond to that?
All right, thanks for that. An update there from Alex Cadier reporting live from Tel Aviv, and Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.